Hi, Canyon View. I am here with a good buddy of mine. This is Paul Perea. And Paul, you have a very unique profession that
I do.
you have found. And what do you do?
I am a tattoo artist at a local shop here in town.
Okay. You also have had a great blessing of a spiritual heritage. Your parents did what while you were growing up?
My parents were pastors in an Assembly of God church. They were pastors for over 20 years.
Can you say real quickly a little bit of your history of how you're in your chair that you're in?
My injury was sustained close to 20 years ago as a result of a rock climbing accident. I actually had a large boulder come loose above me, and I was on the ground, and as a result I sustained a paralyzing injury from the waist down. But that was quite some time ago.
Yeah. Describe what you went through after the injury, emotionally, spiritually, and so forth.
Emotionally, I was at a point where, of course, the transition was very profound. I was going to be a father, so I had a lot of things to focus on in that regard. But for my faith, it kind of went to the back burner, so to speak. I was more focused on just trying to maintain a family, and my faith wasn't what it should have been for some time.
You basically went on survival mode.
I did. I was on survival mode for quite a long time.
Yeah. And so what transpired to bring you kind of reignite your faith again?
Several years ago, I went through a major change in my life, and went through a divorce. That was a major turning point in my life, and that allowed me to focus, caused me to focus more on my faith and my relationship with God. And as a result, I found myself in Canyon View, and very transformative period in my life. Growing up in church, I knew what church was and what God was. But I always felt that my relationship with God was intrinsic, and it was for me. But being at Canyon View, I realized that that relationship has an effect on other people, and it needs to.
That's awesome. And so you've actually found a deeper purpose even in being a tattoo artist.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit of what has happened with some of your clients.
Well, everybody that comes in here comes in for a very profound reason. I mean, the pain that's involved, the ritualistic nature of the tattoo itself, it allows me to ask some very penetrating questions to my clients. And having people in the chair that Kirk is in now, it allows me to talk to them about God in such a way that maybe they haven't heard it before, and to do it in a place where they would least expect it. So yeah, it's been awesome.
You pretty much have a captive audience, don't you?
I do, almost as much as yours. Maybe not as painfully captive.
It can be pretty painful for my audience. Okay, so one of the things that has been, another thing that's been transformative for you has been getting involved in a cell group.
Yes.
And you came to our original cell group.
Yes.
And we've multiplied that. You've been through actually 2 multiplications.
Yes.
And now you are helping lead a cell group, right?
Yes.
What have you experienced personally through being engaged communally through the cell group?
Well, I know that a lot of people, when they get to the parking lot of Canyon View, they look at the church and how big it is, and a lot of times that's a factor into, a church being too big. Sure. How big is too big? But the cell groups have actually made the church smaller for me and for a lot of people, and it takes Canyon View outside of that building and takes it into the community, and it makes the community a church.
So what would you say to people sitting out there right now that are learning how to pray and are being challenged to look at God in a communal way? What would you say to them about if they're asking the question, should I actually get involved in a cell group?
Absolutely. being part of a cell group makes it communal. It brings church outside of church, and it makes God more tangible in your life, something that you can feel and share with other people. I know that when I have something that I want to share with people, like the work that I do, I go out, and a lot of times what's neat is that the work is out there, and not to say anything about it, it just, people see it. And I think that's the beauty in our faith, is that if it's genuine, people see it, we don't really have to do anything with it. And cell groups have actually fostered that attitude, and not just me, but in the people that I'm there with, and that we're all missional in our heart and our mindset, and we're out there trying to make a difference in whatever we do.
And then finally, what has changed in the past few years in your prayer life?
Definitely praying a lot more. Praying to God as somebody that is not just for me. Scriptures tell us that God is our Father, and that He's not my Father. So being able to look at it in that regard, and knowing that He's not just for me, but that He's for everyone, and that me being part of this, that I need to share Him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, bro, thanks for taking the time
Thanks
and
for your
letting
time.
us come
God
in.
bless.
Okay, we'll get ready. You can get started on
Okay.
my arm
All
right there. All right. Thanks, Paul.